That's perfect, akhi. Jazakallahu khayran. Jazakallahu khayran. Nice to see you. I'll do that, man. Shukran. Take care, akhi. Habibi. Assalamu alaikum. Take care, yeah? Bismillah. والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. طيب إخوان, one of the brothers just reminded me just to make an announcement for the 40 Hadith class that we have on Fridays at 6:30. 40 Hadith of Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala. We do classes every Friday at 6:30, and inshallah ta'ala, as of hopefully this Tuesday, we're going to be opening up a series of lectures on Ramadan, al-isti'dalu li shahri Ramadan, preparing for the month of Ramadan, which would be fantastic if you guys can attend, inshallah tabaraka wa ta'ala. I won't keep you guys too long, but inshallah ta'ala we're going to start the arkan, inshallah ta'ala, and get through maybe at least 2. I got my wife calling me right now, but I ain't going to pick up. Example. Arkan al-salah. Now we're moving on to the pillars of the prayer. And as I mentioned to you before, the ulama, they define a rukun. Arkan is the plural of rukun. Alright? Assalamu alaikum akhi. They define a rukun as ما يلزم من وجوده الوجود ومن عدمه العدم. Then the correctness of the action will be there. وَمِنْ عَدَمِهِ الْعَدَمِ. And if that rukun is not there, then the correctness or the soundness of that action will too not be there. فقال الشيخ محمد بن عبد الوهاب رحمه الله تعالى وأركان الصلاة 14. And the pillars of the prayer are 14 in number. القيام مع القدرة. Standing for the one that's able to stand. Very important. وتكبيرة الإحرام. And making the first initial takbir, which through it one enters the salah. وقراءة الفاتحة. And the recitation of Surah Al-Fatiha. والركوع. And making they call it the bowing, right? And bowing. والرفع منه. And rising from the bowing position. والجلسة بين السجدتين. والسجود على الأعضاء السبعة. يعني making the prostration on the 7 bodily limbs. Who knows what the 7 bodily limbs are that we have to make as-sujuda? غيرك.
Forehead.
1.
And 2 hands. 2 chuff.
It's 3.
Knees, 2 knees.
It's 5.
And 2 fingers.
2 fingers. Allahu Akbar.
Nails.
2 fingers.
Toes.
2 toes.
2 toes.
هذا 6 يا أخي.
And a nose.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. And 7. Alright, these are the 7 parts of the body that must touch the floor.
How did you count it?
Face, forehead, 2 hands, he said, 2 feet. Then you said 2. Sorry. My bad. Let's rewind. Start again.
There's a forehead.
Forehead. The forehead includes the nose.
Include the nose.
Hey, my bad. Shukran jazeelan.
That's the whole face.
So when we say the face, like in مع الأنف. مع الأنف عشان الأنف جزء من الوجه.
And the 2 chuff.
That's 2. That's 3.
The 2 knees.
It's 5.
And the 2 toes.
2 toes. And it's that's the top of the toes, alright? It's the top of the toes. We call it like the ball of the feet, I believe. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala knows best. Alright, so these are the 7 parts. وَالْإِعْتِدَالُ مِنْهُ. Remember this word, al-i'tidal, that we covered? I couldn't remember, or I didn't know the good translation.
When you rest like on your limbs.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means, but I don't know a direct translation for al-i'tidal, except that one has to be somewhat tranquil when they're praying and they're not rushing. طيب الاعتدال منه والجلسة بين السجدتين, and that period that we sit between the two sajdas, والطمأنينة في جميع الأركان, and to be tranquil in all of the pillars, والترتيب, and doing things in the correct order, والتشهد الأخير, and the last التشهد that we make at the end of the prayer, والجلوس له, and sitting for it, والصلاة على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, and sending prayers and salutations on the Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم, والتسليمتان, and the two taslims. بإذن الله تعالى, once we get into the book written by Shaykh Al-Albani rahimahullah ta'ala, we'll see that there is flexibility in the taslimatan. Do you have to say, make the taslim on the right and the left? Or is it sufficient just to make the taslim on the right? What do you say? Do you say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh? Or can you say ila wa rahmatullah? Or can you just simply suffice and say Assalamu alaikum? These are all things that we're going to cover inshallah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Now the Shaykh goes on to say that رُكُنُ الشَّيْء فِي اللُّغَةِ جَانِبُهُ الْأَقْوَى, that in the language a rukun is that strong supporting thing. Alright, and we've also mentioned that another word for a rukun is al-amud, a pillar. Alright, this is in the language. وَالصَّلَاةُ فِي اللُّغَةِ الدُّعَى, as I've mentioned previously. The Shaykh says that the word as-salah in the language means ad-du'a, supplication. Before the Prophet ﷺ came and defined what we now know as as-salah, specific actions that are done at specific times, then the word ad-du'a to the companions or the Arabs at that time, it meant to supplicate. وَفِي الشَّرْعِ, and the legislative meaning of ad-du'a, أَقْوَالًا وَأَفْعَالًا مَخْصُوصَةٌ مُفْتَتَحَةٌ بِالتَّكْبِيرِ مُخْتَتَمَةٌ بِالتَّسْلِيمِ. Now the legislative meaning of as-salah, as we know, it's statements and actions that are specific, or should I say specific statements and specific actions that open up with a takbir and they finish with what, ikhwan? At-taslim. Has anybody got any tissue? No. Jazakallah khair. Sorry, akhi. Now, this is what the legislative meaning of at-takbir, as-salah means. وَأَرْكَانُ الصَّلَاةِ مِنْ أَجْزَائِهَا. As I mentioned before that we actually prayed Isha, the arkan of the salah, the pillars of the prayer, are from the prayer. They're elements or parts from within the prayer. وَالْفَرَقُ بَيْنَ الشَّرْطِ وَالرُّكُنِ أَنَّ رُكْنَ الشَّيْءِ جُزْءٌ مِّنْهُ دَاخِلٌ فِيهِ وَأَمَّا الشَّرْطُ فَلَيْسَ مِنْ أَجْزَائِهِ بَلْ هُوَ إِمَّا مُقَدَّمٌ عَلَيْهِ أو مصاحب له كالطهارة أو مصاحب له كالاستقبال القبلة. The Shaykh goes on to say that the rukun or the rukun of something, the pillar of something, is a part of it found inside. As it relates to a condition, then it is not from those parts of the prayer, i.e. those things that are found inside the action. It either comes before the action or it's almost accompanies the action. Alright, like a tahara, you make a tahara and then you pray. It's still before the salah, but nonetheless, it's slightly just before it. Or when you're facing the qibla, which is even sooner than, it's closer to the prayer than making al-wudu. Thank you, Akhi. Shukran. Tafadal, oh, if you had a question. That's a lot of tissue. Yeah, shukran. Alright. J. Now, does that make sense, ikhwan? The difference between the فرق بين الركن والشرط. Sheikh Musa, ماذا تفهم من هذا الكلام? What do you understand from what I just mentioned? الفرق بين الشرط والركن.
The nearness, meaning the closeness between the two.
Okay. Elaborate.
The example you've given of tahara for the salah.
No, but what's the difference between الركن والشرط? هذا هو السؤال. من يساعده؟
الشروط هي قبل الصلاة.
نعم.
والأركان داخل الصلاة.
هكذا. The conditions are before, the arkan are inside. However, as it relates to the condition,
there could be conditions inside this one as well.
أعطيني شرطا واحدا في داخل الصلاة. Give me one sharat that's inside the prayer. The shurut are always outside. But the point here, what the Shaykh is mentioning, that some of those conditions will either be before it with no issue, or some will still be before, but just slightly before the action takes place.
Arkan of conditions.
The arkan. Sorry. The conditions. Before the action, did I say arkan?
No.
Oh, Jazakallahu khair. The conditions are before the action takes place. Let's just leave it there. Before the action takes place. Then the Shaykh goes on to say, Ar-Rukunul Awwalu, the first pillar now, guys. This is what we're going to cover, the first pillar from the pillars of the prayer. Remember, there's 14 in total. We're going to cover maybe 2 now, inshallah, tabaraka wa ta'ala. يقول الشيخ القيام مع القدرة والدليل قوله تعالى حافظوا على الصلوات والصلاة الوسطى وقوموا لله قانتين وقوموا لله قانتين. The first pillar from the pillars of the prayer is standing for the one that is able to do so. مع القدرة. And I mentioned before, every single thing in the religion is connected to one's ability. And one being able to do so. Except for the prayer itself, it's never ever connected to one's ability. The salah is never ever lifted off a person except in 3 cases. Al-Majnoon, حتى يعقل في رواية، أو النائم حتى يستيقظ، أو حتى يستيقظ جزاك الله خيرا، والصبي حتى يبلغ أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم. طيب, لكن as it relates to elements inside the salah, then this is connected to one's ability. Like we mentioned before, facing the qibla is contingent on somebody knowing where the qibla is, especially if he is a musafir. Anyway, al-qiyamu ma al-qudra, standing when one is able to stand. Then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala mentions a proof. The Shaykh mentions a proof, a statement of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in Surah Al-Baqarah. And we've mentioned this ayah before. حَافِظُوا عَلَى الصَّلَوَاتِ وَالصَّلَاةِ الْوُسْطَى وَقُومُوا لِلَّهِ قَانِتِينَ. Now, I shouldn't have to translate this ayah. I should be able to say, وَالدَّلِيلُ قَوْلُهُ تَعَالَى حَافِظُوا عَلَى الصَّلَوَاتِ وَالصَّلَاةِ الْوُسْطَى وَقُومُوا لِلَّهِ قَانِتِينَ يَكْفِيكُمْ. Why? Because we've covered it before. And this is where we want to get to the stage whereby when adillah is being mentioned, whether it be from the kitab or the sunnah, we don't always need a translation. You understand, guys? I'm going to ask a question. Who doesn't know what this ayah means? That's honest. MashaAllah. Is that you? Umar? Was that your hand up? Okay. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala yaqul fi Surah Al-Baqarah حافظوا على الصلوات, يعني preserve the salah, guard the salah. Sometimes they translate as guard the salah. حافظوا على الصلوات, guard the prayers. As-salawat is jam'u as-salah. Guard the prayers, preserve the prayers. And then he goes on to specify one prayer in particular. He says was-salat al-wusta, and the middle prayer. And I mentioned previously that the ulama, they differ. What is intended by as-salat al-wusta? They differ. Is it salat al-asr or is it salat al-fajr? Ala kulli halin, whatever it is, I think the strongest opinion is it salat al-asr. Guard your prayers. This is a command from Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, وَقُومُوا لِلَّهِ قَانِتِينَ. This is the shahid of the ayah, ikhwan. Yani the main point. This is the point in the ayah which we're concerned about. Because what are we trying to find a proof for right now? Al-qiyamu ma'a al-qudra. Excellent, akhi. This is what we want to find a dalil from. So if somebody says to you, طيب, what's the dalil for al-qiyamu ma'a al-qudra? And somebody says, حافظوا على الصلوات والصلاة الوسطى. Has he mentioned the dalil? La, he's mentioned the ayah from the Quran, but he hasn't mentioned the dalil that supports his statement. The dalil here is وَقُومُوا لِلَّهِ قَانِتِينَ. Make sense? So it's important, ikhwan, whenever you're mentioning a dalil from the kitab or from the sunnah, you have to know what we call in Arabic wajh al-istidlal, the angle that this particular dalil can be used as a proof for. So important. So important. Now, so guard the prayers and the middle prayer, and قوموا. This is a command from Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala to stand. وَقُومُوا لِلَّهِ قَانِتِينَ. How do they translate قَانِتِينَ? Devoutly obedient?
Yeah. Stand before Allah with obedience.
Obedience, okay? But the point there, Allah orders with al-qiyam. He says, وَقُومُوا, which means stand. Now, tafadhal akhi.
Which ayah is that?
This is Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 238. Sorry? 238? 238.
Can you carry on the translation?
طيب, that was it.
Yeah, you didn't say it. You didn't say the last bit. You just said stand and obedience.
Yeah, I said, and stand lillahi, to Allah, devoutly obedient, or in obedience or devoutly obedient. سؤال؟ نعم، ده سورة البقرة يا إخوان. طيب، فقال الشيخ يجب في صلاة الفرض أن يصلي المرء قائما إذا كان قادرا على القيام، ومن صلى جالسا مع قدرته. Sorry guys. ومن صلى where was I? ومن صلى جالسا على قدرته ومع قدرته عليه لم تصح صلاته. ويدل لذلك حديث عمران ابن حسين رضي الله تعالى عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى قائما، قال صلي قائما فإن لم تستطع فقاعدا فإن لم تستطع فعلى جنب. They had the proof from the Sunnah which goes to show that a person has to stand if he is able to do so, is the hadith collected by Imam al-Bukhari from Imran ibn Hussein. He said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, pray standing. Now if you go back to the Arabic, ikhwan, one second akhi, if you go back to the Arabic, you'll see that the word salli is written in the command form. Salli qa'iman. The Prophet ordered with people to pray standing up. Then he goes on to say, فَإِن لَمْ تَسْتَطِعْ. If you're unable to pray standing, فَقَاعِدًا. Then pray sitting down. فَإِن لَمْ تَسْتَطِعْ فَعَلَى جَنْبٍ. Where is the wajh al-istidlal in this hadith? Anybody? غيرك.
عفوا مكرر من لم تستطيع
فإن لم تستطيع يعني فقاعدا فإن لم تستطيع فعلى جنب. أي نعم. بارك الله فيك. He asked me to repeat the hadith from a particular point. I'll repeat it for you again, أخي. ويدل لذلك حديث عمران بن حسين رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال صل قائما فإن لم تستطع فقاعدا فإن لم تستطع فعلى جنب. رواه البخاري رحمه الله تعالى. Where's the wajh al-istidlal in this hadith? Were you going to answer the question or you had a question? طيب, where's the wajh al-istidlal in this hadith?
قائما.
Mumtaz. You're both right, but he was asah. He was more correct. The order here was to pray like this. If you're unable to do so, i.e. you don't have the ability to do so, then like this. And if you don't have the ability to do so, then like this. Alright, so when we say al-qiyamu ma'al-qudra, we've got the ayah which goes to show that al-qiyam is wajib. And then we've got ma'al-qudra, this hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam that's collected by Imam al-Bukhari. وأما في ففضل أخي عندك سؤال.
Which ayah was it? I didn't get it.
Which ayah? No, that's a hadith. The previous ayah, Surah Baqarah, verse number 238, I believe.
And which hadith is that?
This is a hadith collected by Imam al-Bukhari on the authority of Imran ibn al-Husayn, or Ibn Husayn, بدون al.
Do you know which number it is?
Yeah, I do it. I have to put on my serious voice. Because if I was laughing and joking, that would have been problems. Allah al-Musta'an. طيب, 1117 أخي. أخي ما اسمك؟ Haytham. Jazakallah khair. It doesn't actually say where this hadith can be found, but it's the number is 1117. But if you go to a website called sunnah.com, SUNNAH, you know it? Yeah, and just type in, for example, Salli, Sad, Lam, space, Qa'iman. And then you'll find a hadith and you find all the reference points. Fantastic website. أما في صلاة النافلة فيجوز أن يصليها وهو جالس. Then the Shaykh says, as it relates to the supererogatory prayers, then it is permissible for the Muslim to pray while he is sitting down. وَأَجْرُهُ عَلَى النِّصْفِ. But he will only get how many rewards? Half the rewards. من أجر القائم compared to the one that actually stands. والأفضل يعني what is better أن يصليها قائما ليحصل الأجر كاملا. It's better for the Muslim that he prays standing, obviously if he's able to do so, such that he is able to obtain or acquire the complete reward. لحديث عبد الله بن عمر بن عاص رضي الله عنهما في ذلك أخرجه مسلم وإذا لم يستطع المريض أن يصلي قائما فصلى الفرض والنفل جالسا فله الأجر كاملا. طيب, let me quickly translate before we move on and then we go to the second pillar. The Shaykh says here that for the supererogatory prayers it's permissible to pray sitting down. However, you will only get half the rewards of that person standing. But it's better obviously to stand so we can get the full reward. And the proof for this, although the Shaykh didn't mention the proof verbatim, he said the proof for this is due to a hadith which is collected by Imam Muslim on the authority of Abdullah ibn Amr ibn As. Which obviously goes to show that it's permissible to pray sitting down, but you will get half the reward. Then the Shaykh goes on to say, وَإِذَا لَمْ يَسْتَطِعِ الْمَرِيض. If a sick person is unable to pray standing up, أن يصلي قائما فصلى الفرض والنفل جالسا وله أجر كاملا. If a sick person is unable to pray standing, he prays his obligatory prayers sitting, and his supererogatory prayers sitting, and he will still get full reward. What's the proof here, Shaykh Abdul Muhsin على ذلك? The Shaykh says لقوله صلى الله عليه وسلم في حديث أبي موسى رضي الله تعالى عنه إذا مرض العبد أو سافر كتب له مثل ما كان يعمل مقيما صحيحا رواه البخاري. You want the number, yeah, Haytham? You want the number of the hadith? 2996 Al-Bukhari. This hadith, on the authority of Abu Musa, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إِذَا مَرَضَ الْعَبْدُ. If a servant becomes sick, أو سافر, or he travels, كُتِبَ لَهُ مِثْلَ مَا كَانَ يَعْمَلُ مُقِيمًا صَحِيحًا. He will get the same reward as those things that he used to do when he was either a resident and healthy, or healthy at the same time. Alright? Now the point being here is, the only reason this person that's mareed, yusalli jalisan, is what? That is tahiqa.
If he wasn't married, he would still be there.
That's it. The only reason he's praying sitting down is because he's sick. He's not praying sitting down because he wants. Now, because he's lazy or, he can't be bothered. He's praying for a reason. So from the mercy of Allah Ta'ala, He's allowed his religion such that if a person is sick and he has to pray sitting down, and this isn't only related to praying, any action that you do and then you're unable to do that due to a sickness, you will still get the rewards as if you've done it completely. What a mercy, what a rahmah from Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And this hadith is collected, like I said, by Imam Al-Bukhari. So as it relates to the first rukun from the Arkan al-Salah, is al-qiyamu ma'al-qudra. We know the dalil in Surah Al-Baqarah for the wujub of al-qiyam for salah. Qiyam meaning standing, ikhwan. And we know the dalil for ma'al-qudra. So, we know the dalil for ma'al-qudra from the aforementioned hadith. Let's go to al-rukn al-thani, and then it's time to nimshi. Any questions, sorry? Haytham, you had a question? Or was that the ayah?
What's condition number 2? Pillar number 2.
We haven't done that yet, we're doing it now. No.
After taking back to the conditions, is it permissible to change the intention halfway through the salah?
It's a good question, Akhi. Give me an example of when somebody would want to do that.
For example, you let's say it's from fard to fard. You're praying Asr, but you remember you haven't prayed Dhuhr. Or if you're praying Sunnah, and then you realise, or you're praying Sunnah, then you realise
maybe the time's going to run out, something like that, so you want to change it to a fard.
As soon as it happens, it has happened to me. When I'm, for example, doing Qiyam Layl, and I say, I'm going to do 5 rakahs, and in between I say, no, I'm going to do 3. And I'm inside the salah, and I do 3. Or sometimes I say, no, I'm feeling sleepy, I'm going to do one. But I'm already inside the salah. But in standing, when I'm saying Allahu Akbar, my intention is to do 3. But then I change.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna have to research تغيير النية في أثناء الصلاة during the salah. Right.
He
Yeah.
answered that question. Remember?
Say that again, Ikhwan.
Sheikh Malik when he was here.
Okay.
He answered a similar question.
Okay. What's the question?
Can you change your intention during the salah?
That's exactly the same question.
I don't remember
the answer?
I don't remember the full answer. He said you can't change from a sunnah to a fard. That's the part I remember.
Okay. I mean, I'll look into it nonetheless, and inshallah ta'ala. It's a fantastic question, no? I do think about this often as well. You asked me that question, right? I do think about this question. Yeah. Let me look into it. Are you going to be here next week? Inshallah ta'ala. Where are you from, Akhi?
Yemen.
Yemen. You speak Arabic?
No.
كويس. جيد. طيب. الثاني تكبير. We started الثاني, right?
Yes.
الثاني تكبيرة الإحرام والدليل حديث تحريمها التكبير وتحليلها التسليم. The dalil for the second condition, sorry, for the second pillar, which is takbiratul ihram, and that is the initial and the first takbir that we make upon entering into any of the salawat, is the hadith tahrimuha at-takbir. Now I don't know how to translate this well, so I'm going to explain it. Tahrim is when something is impermissible. So what the hadith is literally saying is things become impermissible in the salah with the initial takbir. So tahrimuha, i.e. the tahrim of the salah, is a takbir. When a person says Allahu Akbar, those things that were previously permissible for him to do before the salah now become haram for him to do. Who can give me an example? Talking, eating, alright? They now become haram. The moment you say Allahu Akbar for the takbirat al-ihram, it's the tahrim of the salah now. Things now become impermissible for you to do. And then it says, وَتَحْلِيلُهَا التَّسْلِيم. Once you've made the taslim, things return back to normal. Alright guys?
Can you repeat the hadith?
In Arabic? No problem. تحريمها إذا يعود أو تعود إلى الصلاة. ممتاز. التكبير وتحليلها التسليم. ثم يقول الشيخ حفظه الله تعالى تكبيرة الإحرام أول تكبيرات الصلاة. That the تكبيرة الإحرام is the first takbir in the salah. وهي في الصلاة كالإحرام في الحج والعمرة. And the takbir of al-ihram when we enter the salah is just like, as the Shaykh says here, al-ihram fil hajj wal umrah. Putting on the ihram or getting into the state of al-ihram. When you're making hajj or umrah. You know when you're going into making hajj or umrah, you wear those white garments. The wearing of the white garments doesn't mean that a person is in ihram. Alright guys, very important. A person becomes in ihram with the niyyah. That's muhim jiddan. So when a person becomes in a state of ihram, some of the things that used to be halal for him now become haram. Give me an example.
Would it be cutting of the nails?
Cutting of the nails. Also,
Cutting the beard.
cutting the beard haram. Mutlaqan.
Cutting your hair.
Cutting hair, having sexual relations with your wife. All of these things, once you're in a state of ihram, now become applying perfume. I believe applying perfume is permissible before you can become into a state of ihram, but not afterwards. Ala kulli halin, the point being is takbiratul ihram to the salah is like an ihram during hajj or during umrah. Make sense, ikhwan? وإنما سميت تكبيرة الإحرام لأنه يحرم على المصلي إذا دخل في صلاته بهذه التكبيرة. And it says the reason why it's called takbiratul ihram is because, as I mentioned, once a person enters the salah, things become haram upon him. أمورا كانت حلالا له قبل ذلك. Things that used to be permissible for him before that time. كالأكل, like eating, والشرب, والكلام وغير ذلك. ولهذا قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, and this hadith is collected by Imam al-Tirmidhi يا أخي, تحريمها التكبير وتحليلها التسليم. الترمذي. نعم.
Translation.
Yeah, again, I didn't know the best way to translate.
Translate using the same tahrim and tahleel.
Yeah, I would say. So understand the meaning. So the tahrim of the salah is the takbir, and the tahliluha is the taslim. If somebody's got the ability to go to sunnah.com right now, and then just type in tahrimuha at-takbir, and then see how they've translated it there, inshallah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Now,
what was the name of the second pillar?
the name of the second pillar here is Takbiratul Ihram. Takbiratul Ihram. You know how to spell tahrimuha?
I wasn't doing
Oh, you're not doing it? Okay, no problem. It's cool. No worries. I'll tell you what I'll do then, inshallah ta'ala, عشان الوقت, because it's past 9 o'clock now. I will find out for you guys next week. And I'll give you the exact translation of it next week. But alhamdulillah, we finished Ashurut al-Tis'a, and now we're going on to the 14 conditions of the 14 pillars. What I would like to do, ikhwan, and again, it's not to punish anybody, it's actually as a rahmah, is give you guys a short quiz next week on Ashurut faqat, only on the conditions. We're not going to talk about any pillars. I might ask you the definition of a pillar, because we've covered that. But as it relates to what's the first pillar, so give me 3 pillars from the pillar or whatever, I won't ask you. I'm going to ask you only on what we've covered thus far. And the exam, the exam will either be everyone doing it by themselves and they have to write it down, or maybe I might ask a question and I'll just get you guys to write the answer down, or I might get you into like pairs or something like that. Alright, either one of those, depending on what's going to be the most conducive for the lesson. But the point is, I don't want you guys to keep coming, I wouldn't say wasting, but spending your valuable time when you could be doing 101 other things. You come into the lesson, which is all good, and there's rewards in that, jade. Lakin, al-maqsood, the point of coming is that you guys benefit. You understand, guys? You benefit, and that knowledge stays with you. And the only way knowledge is going to stay with us, after being sincere to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, is if we go over and we revise what we're covering. Otherwise it's going to be flaky. Knowledge is going to be flaky. This is one of the reasons that if you go and ask a lot of tullab, why do you teach after? There's not really money in teaching. It's not like you're going to have a fantastic quality of life if you teach. But at the end of the day, we spent so long, there's obviously many reasons why we teach, but we spent so long studying. The only way this information is going to stay is if we teach it. And remember, we've sat here for how long now? Maybe 2 hours, taqreeban? We started about 7 minutes past 7. It's now 8 minutes past 9. This is 2 hours that we've spent here. I also have to spend time in my own time preparing for the class. So I'm constantly going over this stuff. When you see me, for example, being able to maybe remember an ayah, if it's not already written down, or which surah an ayah is in, it's not because I'm a fantastic Muslim and I've just got a fantastic memory. No, it's about 2 hours ago, 2 hours before the class, I read it. You understand? Or I might have to translate something and it brought me into another topic. You with me? So there's no difference between us at all, except that I'm forced to prepare for my class. But you guys also should force yourself to revise. قَيِّدُ الْعِلْمَ بِالْكِتَابَ, as the Salaf used to say. Catch knowledge by writing it down. وَبِذَلِكَ, we're going to finish today's lesson, and then next week we're going to continue from the 3rd pillar after our exam. Now, تفضل أخي.
Would it be an open book exam?
Open book meaning you can go, لا أبدا I don't do that. Everything from memory, man. Oh, you done it, yeah? Awesome. Alright, then it is.
Just use tahrim and tahleel.
Oh, look at that. It's tahrim, it's takbir, and it's tahleel. They also had trouble translating the same word as well. I'm sure it's out there somewhere though.
It's a masdar, isn't it?
Masdar. I believe so. But it's like, it's not that. It's how do you say, The takbir is the haram of the salah. Or I would explain it. Making the first initial takbir makes those things which are usually permissible impermissible. And وهكذا. Let me see what it says here. أن الله تبارك وتعالى knows best. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. I really appreciate it, man. It was a pleasure. بورك فيكم. السلام عليكم. Sure. The compass of Qibla. Yeah.
I think it's 6'4".
I don't know.
Someone's house or something, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Excellent. That's fantastic, man. You know, there's some really good apps out there as well. Really good apps that you could. Yeah? Alhamdulillah. Gee. Jazakallah khair, akhi. Now, take care, Mustafa, man. Pleasure. Likewise. Excellent.
Apologies for.
No, I was only
It's really bad out there.
No, akhi, listen, I'm easy.
No, it's not just about you, it's about certain things.
I understand, but sometimes, akhi, if you're tired, you're tired. Wallahi, I remember one time.
I thought to myself, you know, if Umar ibn Khattab said to do that before Salah, then Salah is more important than a lesson.
Sahih.
So I should do it for a lesson.
No,
Then come
Jazakallah.
back to the lesson.
No, it's
I wanted to ask you because I was half hearing the lesson, actually, which I was lying down. What was the shurut that was, what was the rukn that was also a shurut or something like that?
No. There was no, I never mentioned there was a rukn that was.
Or a shurut that's in the Salah. In the Salah.
No, a brother asked, are the shurut, there are shurut in the salah? I said, name me one. The shurut are always outside the salah, but either they're going to be outside, mujarrad outside,
Yeah.
like for example, dukhul al-waqt, outside of the salah, or it might be outside the salah, but just before you actually do the action. For example, istiqbal al-qibla, it's outside the prayer, but it happens just before. You find the qibla, then you say, Allahu Akbar. It just happens just before the action takes place. Assalamu alaikum ta'ala, look after yourself, akhi. Make sense?
Sheikh, if you turn away from the Qibla, would that nullify your Salah?
I believe so.
So is that
But
not a rukn?
I can say no.
Thanks for the lesson.
Okay, no, you're welcome, akhi. No. I hear what you're saying, but as it relates to inhiraf, they call it in Arabic al-inhiraf an al-qiblati. If it's yasir, yani ever so slightly off, like, this is the qibla and you're like this, ma fi mushkila.
So, isn't there a hadith that says what people from this part of the world, you know, their qibla is between this and this compass point? It basically says it just has to be between north and east if it's that in that general direction.
Nothing
I'll have to look into it. So
yeah, nothing comes to mind. But again, it's like, as long as it's in the direction and you're not like, qibla's there and you're like way over there.
No. But then if you do that in Salah, would there not take the
Al-in-
ruling of a rukn? Or would there be still a short because it had to be present prior anyway?
But we're inside the action now, you're saying, and whilst somebody's inside the action, then they make an inhiraf and al-qibla.
Or like maybe breaks his wudu or something.
I mean, I've never heard any of the ulama saying that that istiqbal al-qibla now becomes a rukn inside the salah. But I do know that they say if somebody makes inhiraf an al-qiblati, and it's by a large distance, then that does invalidate the prayer. So, ikhwan, you guys want me to get in trouble for my wife, right?
No. So there we go. Exactly.
That's fine.
I just want to ask when you were planning on starting the Arabic lesson.
Yeah, with regards to the Arabic class, this is the situation. From all the people that submitted their DLs, it's like 15 people. The majority of people were in Medina Book 1. Now, in order for me to open up any class, there has to be a minimum 5 students. So the beginners, like Gateway to Arabic, there's only like 3. Medina Book 1, it was like 7 that showed interest anyway, but maybe like 5 that I've said yeah, so we can start that. Medina Book 2, there was only 2 people that haven't got back to me yet, and there was 1 brother from Medina Book 1. So it has to be conducive for, you know, myself and the masjid for coming down. So with regards to when we're going to start, I'm ready to start like now. But with Tariq, the chairman, he likes to have a grace period for promotion.
Yes.
So I've only promoted it in class. So they want to get a poster together. That's probably going to take a week. So probably after the holidays, if
Would
possible.
it be running through Ramadan?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm ready to do this, man. I'm ready to do this. Unless you guys say, no, can we stop? I'm ready to do this. سؤال؟
لا لا
أوكي.
لا، بس
بارك الله
تذكر أعطيتك كتاب الشيخ أنيس. الله.
I think it's here. إيش اسم الكتاب؟
40 في حقوق رب العالمين. ما في مشكلة. Just if you have a minute at home, just have a
Yeah,
sandwich.
well, I've recently moved, so there's definitely. I think it's here.
Inshallah, I'll check it over the weekend anyway.
جزيت خير يا
Inshallah,
أخي.
but
شكرا.
Inshallah next week.
Alright, take care أخي. السلام عليكم. Take care يا أخي. شكرا. أخي, how are you أخي? You're right. بارك الله فيك. الحمد لله. Thanks. You're right أخي. السلام حبيبي. Take care. بارك الله فيك. حياك الله. مسالك كيف؟
Yeah, I'm gonna look it down. If you leave it there, you're gonna get it tomorrow morning after.
What I'm going to do, حكم طهارة بول. Okay, well, I'll look at. I use this website a lot. I'll check it out inshallah ta'ala when I get home because I know the brother mashallah he wants to lock up.
I want to ask you, when you pray, you're going to have to do like this. If you don't do it, your namaz is not accepted.
It's not that it's
One
not.
brother say, if you don't do this, your
Yeah,
namaz.
I don't think it's not. It's not that it won't be accepted, but inshallah ta'ala we're going to cover that in class.
I was going to ask you, I didn't want to disturb.
No, it's a fantastic question.